All right, Rabbi, so let's continue. We're still actually in the middle of the Hagdama. We're still in the introduction, just to get the Olam a little bit into Leila Seder to understand what's going on. And then we're going to get into some of the actual Haggadah. So bear with me. I want to read the Olam, a Lashon of the Maral. There's a Maral in Gvuras Hashem, and he writes like this: Kach kol mitzvahs halayla, v'chol avodas hayoim. Im oisu zois ke mitzvahs hanoshim elamoide. If a person does the mitzvahs of the night as like a robot, he doesn't understand. He doesn't put to his heart really what's going on. Not only is he not Yaitza, but he doesn't actually have the ability to accomplish that which the night is able to do. That's why it's so important for us to have some kind of idea. What's going on? What is Leila Seder? What do the words mean? What are we trying to accomplish? So in fact, as Moshe Wolfson Zatzal brings, on Seder night we experience the revelation of Shechina. The words that we say in the Haggadah, over Moire Gadol Zu Gila Shechina, and with great awe, this is the revelation of the Shechina. The Chayzu Melublin would lift up his talus that was covering his face during the Seder. At that moment, when he said those words, he would lift up his talus, and it's brought down that everyone would dive under the table because of the radiance of his face was just too much for them to bear. Klal Yisrael are reborn on Pesach night, and therefore there's an opening tonight on Leila Seder that is not available any other night. And that's why a person has to utilize the opportunity in a tremendous way. The Shlach Kodesh brings down Kedushas Halayla Hazeh V'chol Adinim Anoigim Boy. He Kedusha Rabba Ma'oid. Why? Ki oz bocha bonu Hashem Yisbarach mekol ha'amim v'ketshon b'mitzvayisov. Zug the Shlach Kodesh. Tonight, Leila Seder, is the night the Rabbeinu Shalom chose us to be his nation. That's our opportunity to re-machadish, to re-energize that idea, which is why the Shlach Kodesh continues to say how a person has to be careful. Don't stam shmooze. Be careful what you're doing. Every little letter that you say, every word that you do can make the biggest difference. Rabbi Kiva Eiger, in case you think it's Chassidish Torah, Rabbi Kiva Eiger says an unbelievable thing. Says Rabbi Kiva Eiger, if a person is medaktik and he's careful in the mitzvahs of the night, and he tries to do whatever he can to connect, ani mavtiach, listen to this is a guarantee from Rabbi Kiva Eiger, and he feels, he starts putting inside the simcha that the Rabbeinu Shalom gave us an opportunity to become a nation, to go out of Mitzrayim and to serve him. Right? He says, Kemat lo yargish b'moris klal. He won't feel bitterness the entire year. That is an incredible thing. What does the Haggadah even mean? Right? What does it mean? Of course, Haggadah comes from the Lashon of Magid. Magid means to relate, to speak. And that's the mitzvah of Seder night. It's to speak and allow those that need to speak to speak. Moshe Wolfson explains that the Haggadah is similar to Gidim, veins and arteries, right? That's what the Lashon of Haggadah, he says, is. A vein and an artery transports things from place to place. That means the Haggadah that we say is not simply a text that we recite as a program that we follow for the night, but rather it's a method to draw down to this world that which is really in Shemayim. And as we describe and elaborate and go through in great detail the miracles of Yetzias Mitzrayim, do we realize at that moment we're bringing down the Shefa, we're bringing down the Yeshuas for all of Klal Yisrael. Every detail that we put in makes all the difference. I'll leave the Olam with one last Gavaldiga Maisa. One time late at night, the Heilige Visioner came into the Beis Medrash, and a few Hasidim that were sitting there were shocked. The Rebbe's coming in now. What's going on? The Rebbe calls out and he says the following, Rabbi Say. And this, by the way, sums up the entire Leila Seder. Zug the Heilige Visioner. I heard from my father. That's Rabbi Shalom Shachna. Who heard from his father. That's the Holy Malach. Who heard and received from his father, the Maggid of Mezrich. Who received from his Rebbe. That's the Heilige Baal Shem Tov HaKudish. Who heard from the Novi Achia Hashiloini. That there is a creator who guides and directs the entire world. That is Seder night. Have a great day.